Well, thanks for joining today. I'm sure you've noticed that I'm not alone. We've got Garry here who's going to share his wisdom and his experience.
That won't take long.
But, for those who don't know, Garry is part of the leadership. He's also a trustee in the church and he's been a key member of the church. I should have asked, Gaz, how many years is it going back now?
Oh, 40 years now, I guess. That's since I was 18.
Yeah,
That gives you an idea how old I am.
And through that time, you've done a lot, haven't you? You've been involved in trying to think kids' work, the music, the camps, weekends away. So Gary's kind of done it all, really. So, but Gary's married to Jo, and they've got 2 children. And this is just kind of a very brief intro, just because we really want to hear from you guys. So I'll just dive straight in. If you want to tell us a bit about your background, you've got quite a remarkable story.
Well, I guess you're talking about me being adopted twice, in fact. The story goes, for some reason, my mum and dad couldn't have kids of their own. So they went through the long process of adoption. And the day they heard they were successful was sadly the day after my mum's dad died. His name was Bill. So they decided to name me Garry William Martin and the Williams after Grandad Bill.
Okay.
So I was about 8 weeks old when I met my mum for the first time, my current mum. Apparently my clothes were soaked in urine. I was in a bad way, vomiting urine, and they had to peel the clothes off me. I was in a rough state. And then patiently, after many weeks, my mum gradually nursed me back to health. Apparently I wasn't eating. You can't believe I weren't eating. Looking at me now. I eat well now, anyway. And then I had to wait another 18 years before I was adopted again, but that's a story for a bit later on, I think.
Yeah. Yes, and look at you now, from those early days of, when your parents first saw you to now.
But the other thing, they've always told us we was adopted. They never tried to hide it from us or anything like that. Right from an early age, they told us But we felt sort of special though, Sean, being adopted.
Yeah.
Being adopted, at least we knew our mum and dad wanted us.
Yeah.
We were chosen, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Now, I was thinking, that term life-changing can be kind of often overused, but just thinking back of what your mum and dad done, it truly is, isn't it? They made such a difference, and now, you're fully involved in the church, and, so from looking back to those early days, God's hand on your life is amazing. Yeah. So, kind of for you, when did you first discover Christianity, or for yourself at least? Or?
It's a long story. Phil Cartwright will laugh at this, but we came to youth club when we were about 15, the church youth club.
Yeah.
Phil and Chris were running it. And the one time we were taking on a midnight on Friday the 13th. We used to do things unusual just to prove we weren't superstitious. So the youth club leaders used to take us on a midnight ramble in the dark with torches, which we should have told letters on to our parents, which I didn't. So when we got back on the night, I was about 14. My dad was waiting for me with an Alsatian. And he gave Phil and Chris such a telling off. It was my fault I hadn't informed them, but Phil will tell you he remembers my dad and a big dog. So we didn't go to youth club anymore after that until we was about 16 or 17.
Okay.
Then we went back again because we quite liked the look of some of the girls. And they played football, so we went as a gang to the youth club, played football, chatted up the girls. They ended up marrying one of them, so that worked quite well.
Yeah, that's good.
And then gradually, I guess the message, because one of the rules they used to say, in order to go to youth club, you must attend one of the Sunday services.
Okay.
Of course, me and the lads used to sit at the back and kind of tell jokes and make noises and get told off. But gradually, the message started to come through.
Yeah.
And the love that was shown to us by Chris and Phil and the whole church started to kind of speak to us. And then, like I say, one Sunday night in the winter of 79, I think, when I was 18, I just, well, literally knelt in my bedroom at home, became a Christian. Simple as that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big service or a big evangelistic event.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was just God saying, "Well, you know the story. You know what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's now or never." And I remember I was excited. I went running into the bedroom to tell my mum and dad.
Yeah.
And Mum said, "Well, yeah, you were always a Christian anyway, because you were born a Christian." Which, of course, we know it doesn't quite work that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you came to youth club looking for one thing, and didn't quite bargain what God was gonna.
We just went after the girls, mate. There was nothing super spiritual about that.
Yeah, yeah. So God kind of gave you more than you even thought or asked for, really. In the sense of that. So wow. So would you class that you had any exposure or a background to Christianity, kind of growing up?
Not really. Mum and Dad. Mum always said to us she was glad I started going to church, because I was right at that awkward age, 18.
Yeah.
Could have gone two ways, and she's really pleased that I went the Christian way, if you like.
Yeah.
So they were never anti-God or anti-Christianity. But my dad was a rough old tarmac layer, and my mum was a dinner lady.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. It's another story. But I'm convinced that before they died, they gave their hearts to the Lord.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
That's
convinced
right.
of that. So we'll meet again.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of going back to when you decided for yourself, I don't know, I mean, you mentioned a little bit, was there a defining moment, or was it kind of as simple as you said?
Not really, mate. The message started coming through, and it started making sense, and I just felt that God was telling me there and then, right, come on.
Yeah.
I've probably never knelt to pray ever since or before.
Yeah.
But I thought this was an important prayer, so I better get on my knees.
That's cool.
And just ask him into my life, and my life has never been the same since.
No, that's great. And I was thinking about it, when you told me that before, and just thought, sometimes there can be that expectation that there's going to be fireworks, or there's going to be some, I don't know, supernatural visions or revelation or whatever. But I love the fact that it was just very, very simple in a sense, but there was there's a profound work going on inside that I think that's where those fireworks, if you know what I mean, they should really occur rather than just on the outside. So yeah, I think that's encouraging for each one of us to know. Moving on, I was going to say, if you can sum up your testimony in 3 or 4 words, what would you say?
You said 3 words, and I said 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I thought, well, it's really hard to do that, really.
3 words. Okay.
Not really, but I guess faith, hope, and love. Those 3 words.
Yeah.
You need those 3 things. I just added in chocolate. So I'm trying to be funny, that's all.
Faith, hope, love, and chocolate.
Chocolate.
Sounds like a book title, that does.
Yes. Yeah, well, you never know. You never know.
Well, I think that covers everything, so that's pretty good. Are there any key scriptures that you keep coming back? Key for you?
Yeah, there's a couple I've found here for you. One's on our calendar downstairs. It's sort of a current verse, if you like, which is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 17, which is a lovely verse. It's not that well known, I don't think. I was amazed when I was reading it. I was thought, what a nice verse it is.
Mm.
The Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing. Just those last 2 lines. He will quiet you with his love. When we're all panicky and all stressed out, the verse says, he will quiet you with his love, which is lovely. And he will rejoice over you with singing. To think that God is with us, he's mighty to save, and he takes great delight in us. And he will rejoice over us with singing. God is singing over us now. You can't believe that, can you? God who created the universe, he's kind of singing over us. He's that over the moon with us. And the other one, which is a lovely story about the prodigal son, is from Luke 15, verse 20. He talks about the prodigal son. So he got up and went to his father. But this is the verse. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. You know, that prodigal son is obviously, the father is obviously an image of our Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
And God is waiting for us to turn. He's expecting us, he's looking out for us to return. And when we decide to return, he doesn't just accept us at the back door. He ran out and greets us halfway there. His father saw him and filled compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. That's just like an insight into God's heart, if you like. I think it's lovely.
Yeah, it's great. We don't often think about God singing, do we?
That's right. Yeah.
Or running after us, kind of.
Yeah.
And I think with the prodigal son, we think about God loving us, but the patience, but still there was that deep love for the prodigal son. The love didn't diminish, did it?
No.
It was there, ready, waiting. So yeah, that's great, guys. Again, this next question it's a bit of a random one that I just kind of threw out just to see what you might come up with. So
you might not can answer most of these crazy items in our life.
I just thought, look, are there any crazy moments of faith or times where God just, clearly spoke?
Well, the story, obviously, one of the girls that we were chasing back at the youth club is named Joanne, and ended up marrying her. And we're still married, believe it or not. And he wasn't at our honeymoon, it was a year later, when I was a bit skinnier and the wedding ring could come off quite easy. Went snorkeling down in the med somewhere, it's a bay somewhere, I can't remember where we were. And went snorkeling and came back home ready to go out on the night. And suddenly realised I'd lost my wedding ring. My wedding ring had come off my hand. And we were desperate, he's only a year old. And Joe didn't have the money to buy another one anyway. So we prayed about it and we thought, well, Lord, you know where it is. And we just felt God saying, go back to, this is crazy, but go back to where you were snorkeling and have a look. And we thought, well, that's a crazy thing. The tide's come in and gone out. It's about 10 foot of water. It's a big bay. Could be anywhere. But we went looking, and sure enough, at the bottom of the sea, under about 10 foot of water, there it was, amongst all the coral and the sand, and to see a wedding ring, it's just incredible. And that's the sort of miracle that people don't believe, really. It doesn't mean anything, but to us, it was personal. God knew we were upset about the wedding ring, and He helped us to find it, which was incredible.
You would have been in big trouble, wouldn't you, guys, if that wasn't found?
I know, yeah. She'd have to buy another new one.
That's great. It's incredible, isn't it? Stories like that just, they are so perfect.
They're sort of personal too, Sean, aren't they, really? People can go, well, that's a nice story, but... Yeah. And God cares about us, the little things.
Yeah. And so often we can think, oh, it's too small or it's too insignificant to God. But it just shows, doesn't it, that actually, nothing too big or nothing too small, He cares. Okay, then. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks ever so much.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks for being honest and open, and great to hear your testimony. And
always, mate.
It's great to see God's faithfulness, isn't it? Kind of looking back on your life, looking back on your parents as well, and just how God has come and
how blessed am I to be adopted twice, not once.
Yeah,
twice.
That's great. And also just want to say a big thank you as well, to you and Joe. Just over this pandemic, it's been a tough time, and you guys have been really key, for a long time in the church. But especially just want to say thank you to you guys for this last year and so. And on behalf of everyone else, just want to say thank you as well.
Who I've missed.
Yeah. All right then, guys. Well, take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And thanks, Gaz.
Thanks, Sean.
Take care.